Good morning, students. Today I am going to explain you about a new chapter, that is Phylum Protozoa. So under Phylum Protozoa you are supposed to learn general characters, classification, type study of Plasmodium, especially with reference to its pathogenetic relations and its life cycle. So today let me start with Protozoa general characters. Dear students, in this slide you may observe some of the protozoans which are very familiar protozoans, like in the first left hand side top you will observe the structure of Plasmodium, next to which structure of amoeba, next to which paramecium, next to which euglena, and on the bottom side or in the middle one there is a verticilla, and in the bottom line there is a trypanosoma, and there is noctiluca, and there is a structure of amoeba again. So let me start with introduction. Earth is blessed with myriad of life forms. It also includes tiny animal-like forms called the protozoans, which cannot be seen through naked eye. It is quite remarkable that they are competing successfully in a world inhabited by larger and complex bodied forms on equal terms. Protozoans were first observed by the Dutch microscopist Anton van Leeuwenhoek, that is between 1632 to 1743. He called them as animalcules because of its animate and molecular nature. The term protozoa was first coined by Goldfuss in 1818. The term has been derived from the Greek word protos, means first or primitive, and zoon means animal. Von Siebold in 1845 restricted the name protozoa to all unicellular animals. Over 64,000 species of protozoans have been named so far, and over half of these are fossils. The study of protozoans is called protozoology. Dear students, you have already studied some of the basic aspects of the general characters of phylum Protozoa in your first PU itself, and the elaborate form you are going to learn now in this first BSc, first semester. Phylum Protozoa was treated in past within the animal kingdom. In 1886, Ernst Haeckel, a German biologist who proposed three-kingdom classification, introduced the new kingdom Protista to include all unicellular organisms like algae and protozoans. At first, prokaryotes like bacteria and cyanobacteria were included along with nucleated unicellular forms. In 1966, Copeland suggested a new kingdom called Monera, which includes all prokaryotes. The kingdom Protista includes all eukaryotes that are unicellular during most of their lives. Now coming to general characters. The protozoa may be defined as a group of microscopic, unicellular, and more correctly acellular animal-like protistans which exhibits protoplasmic level of organization and physiological division of labor. Let me give you a brief idea about what is acellular means. The body of protozoans is made up of only one cell, and all functions are being carried out by the protoplasm itself without proper cellular organization as seen in higher animals, hence called acellular. Coming to habitat. Protozoans are found everywhere at all heights and all depths, from 8,000 to 10,000 feet above the sea level to a depth from 2,000 to 3,000 fathoms. They live in marine and freshwater habitats, moist soil, decaying organic matter, or in plants and animals as parasites, that is, endoparasites. Coming to habit, they are free living, free swimming, or sedentary, solitary or colonial. Large number of protozoans are symbiotic, and the relationship may be parasitic, commensalistic, or mutualistic. In protozoans, the protoplasm performs all the life activities, hence said to have protoplasmic level of body organization and hence said to be acellular also. The cytoplasm, that is protoplasm, is differentiated into outer gelatinous ectoplasm and inner granular endoplasm. There are one to many nuclei. When more than one nucleus is present, they may be of one type or what is called monomorphic, for example Arcella, or two types of nuclei are dimorphic, example paramecium. Now coming to symmetry, it is radial or spherical or bilateral or asymmetrical. They exhibit different shapes such as spherical, oval, elongated, tubular, flattened, etc. Now body covering. The body may be naked, that is covered by plasma membrane alone, for example amoeba, or covered by pellicle, example paramecium, or by shell, example Elphidium, also known as Polystomella. Now locomotory organelles. Three major types of locomotory organelles are present in free-living protozoans. They are cilia, flagella, and pseudopodia, while in parasitic protozoans like sporozoans, locomotory organelles are generally absent. Locomotory organelles is of classificatory importance because the phylum Protozoa is divided into four classes basically, which I am going to explain you in the later part of this discussion. Now about nutrition. Protozoans exhibit both autotrophic, that is holophytic, and heterotrophic, that is holozoic type of nutrition. Students, you must observe one important thing here, that protozoans are the only group of animals, that too very few protozoans, they are said to have autotrophic type of nutrition. No other members of kingdom Animalia have this feature. Autotrophic protozoans synthesize their own organic constituents from inorganic constituents. Heterotrophic forms may be saprozoic, absorbing the decaying organic matter in soluble form through the body surface, or holozoic, eating solid food or parasitic, and some are said to have mixotrophic. Mixotrophic means both autotrophic and heterotrophic. Now about digestion process. It is intracellular. It's quite obvious because they do have only one single cell. They cannot have a proper system to undertake the process of digestion. And digestion occurs within the food vacuole. The food is taken through a cell mouth or by engulfment, that is by phagocytosis. Now excretion. There are no excretory organelles. Protozoans excrete an ammonia as the principal nitrogenous waste by diffusion process through cell membrane, that is by general body surface. Now osmoregulation. Contractile vacuoles a kind of specialized vacuoles are present in freshwater protozoans. They are concerned with osmoregulation or water balance that helps in removal of excess of water from the cytoplasm. They also take part in excretion, and these vacuoles are generally absent in marine and parasitic protozoans. So the main function of osmoregulation is to regulate water balance as well as helps in excretion, that is the removal of metabolic waste products also. Now, respiration. There are no respiratory organelles. Exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide occurs across the cell membranes, that is by general body surface only by a process called diffusion. Some protozoans are facultative anaerobes capable of both aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Then reproduction. They reproduce by both sexual and asexual methods. The most common method of asexual reproduction is by binary fission and multiple fission. Some protozoans asexually reproduce by budding and by plasmotomy. Sexual reproduction occurs through syngamy, conjugation, autogamy, and endomixis. Some protozoans exhibit a unique phenomenon called encystment under unfavorable conditions and alternation of generations too, as in example Elphidium. Let me go through the process of encystment. It's a phenomenon which occurs in some protozoans only, that too in freshwater protozoans during unfavorable conditions, during which a protective cyst wall develops around the cell. Soon after favorable conditions resume, the cyst wall is broken and the protozoan is released. Now about classification. The phylum Protozoa is divided into 4 classes based on presence or absence and the type of locomotory structures. Students, this thing I have already told you in the general characters itself under locomotory organelles. Coming to class 1, Mastigophora or Flagellata. As the name itself suggests, members of this class possess one or more flagella as locomotory organelle. Nutrition is autotrophic or heterotrophic or mixotrophic. Members are predominantly symbiotic and few are free living. They are either solitary or colonial. Majority of them reproduce asexually by longitudinal binary fission, some by multiple fission, and sexual reproduction is rarely seen. Examples: Euglena, Noctiluca, Serratium, Leishmania, Trichomonas, Giardia, Trichonympha, etc. Students, in this slide you are going to observe some of the good examples of class Flagellata. In the beginning you will observe the structure of Euglena. You can see a long comma shaped or exclamatory shaped flagella there, and in the next diagram you will happen to see Noctiluca, which is well known for its bioluminescence. Then Leishmania. So on the right hand side of the Noctiluca you will see Serratium, which is also a flagellated protozoan, and on the bottom you will see Trypanosoma, which is the one which causes a disease popularly known as African sleeping sickness. And on the right hand side you will observe Leishmania, and this is having 2 stages over there. One is said to be nutrition stage or the trophozoite stage. Now coming to class 2, Sarcodyna, which is also called Rhizopoda. Members of this class possess pseudopodia as food capturing and locomotory organelle. Body is naked or shelled, forming external or internal skeleton of calcium or siliceous material. They are either free living or parasitic. Nutrition is holozoic or saprozoic or parasitic type. Asexual reproduction by binary fission or multiple fission, and generally sexual reproduction is absent. Examples: amoeba, entamoeba, Elphidium, Arcella, Actinomyces, etc. So here this slide will show you some of the good examples of class Rhizopoda. In the center you will happen to see amoeba structure, and on the left hand side top you will see the entamoeba, and on the right hand side you will see another good example Serratium, and on the bottom line you will see Polystomella, which is also called Elphidium. And one important thing that you observe in Elphidium is it can exist in two different forms. One is microspheric form, another is macrospheric form or megalospheric form. And in the middle you will see Arcella, and on the right hand side you will see the Arcella again, which is said to be in a side view. Now class 3, Celiophora or Ciliata. As the name itself suggests, members of this class possess minute cilia as locomotory and food capturing organelle at some time in their life cycle. Body is covered by a layer called pellicle, and members usually exhibit nuclear dimorphism. Majority are free living, but some are commensal and a few are parasitic. Asexual reproduction is by binary fission, sexual reproduction by conjugation and autogamy. Example: Paramecium, also called popularly as slipper animalcule, Vorticella, bellon animalcule, Balantidium, Didinium, Stentor, Opalina, Nyctothyrus, etc. So this slide you will see some good examples of these ciliates. As you already know that on the left top side you will see Paramecium, next to which Vorticella, and next to which Stentor, and on the bottom line you will see Balantidium, and on the right side of the bottom you will see Nyctothyrus. So these are some good familiar examples of class Ciliata. Now coming to class 4, Sporozoa. Members possess spore-like infective sporozoites, from which the name Sporozoa is derived. Locomotory organelles, mouth and contractile vacuoles are absent as they are parasites. Body is covered by a pellicle or cuticle. All are exclusively endoparasites and no free living forms. Asexual reproduction is by multiple fission. Sexual reproduction is by spore formation. So good examples are Plasmodium, which is called malarial parasite, then Monocystis, Gregarina, etc. So in this slide you will be observing some of the good examples of sporozoans. So students, you must have remembered this image or the diagram of Plasmodium vivax under ultrastructure of microscope, and on the bottom of which you will happen to see another sporozoan, and on the right hand side you will happen to see another sporozoan, what is known as monocystis. So with this I have completed the discussion on study of general characters of phylum Protozoa and its classification. So in the next class, let me continue with the other aspects of phylum Protozoa